We are the things that we consume. We are becoming what we see, what we listen to, what we interact with. That's the person we're becoming.
And a lot of the music that people are listening to is fucking toxic.
A lot? Like, have you listened to this shit that's out there?
It's ridiculous,
It's terrible.
bro. The main job of the Matrix or the demonic agenda or Satan, whatever you want to call it, is to disconnect you from God, is to disconnect you from that feeling of oneness, that you're actually part of this.
There's nothing in the Bible that says we're supposed to be weak. Like, humble, yes, but not weak. You can try me all you want to, and I'll show you what Christians are made of, you know? It's like, we're not weak people. Oh, what does God mean? Like, oh,
is God a male or female?
Is God a male or female? Which pronoun is God? Like,
what is up? Welcome back to the Jeremy Awakens podcast, baby. Today, we have a straight up savage on the show, someone who embodies discipline, leadership, and what it really means to show up with zero excuses. Manning Sumner is the founder of Legacy, one of the most respected fitness brands in the game, and the creator of the No Days Off movement, a philosophy that isn't just about fitness, it's about how you show up in every facet of life. But what separates Manning isn't just his success in business, it's his mindset, his discipline, and the way he leads by example every single day. Whether it's in the gym, in business, or in life, Manning is proof that if you commit fully, stay consistent, and hold yourself to a higher standard, there's nothing that you can't achieve. Manning, welcome to the show.
that's pretty badass, so
You
I like
that?
it, yeah.
That was a good intro,
It's on
right?
on point.
I think one thing that I didn't mention in that intro that I've observed in our short time connecting is just your authentic expression. Like, we spoke about this when I was on your podcast.
Yeah.
You're just fucking you, bro. Like, the swag that you're embodying right now is unreal. And I guess my question for you is, like, when did you start to really step into that chapter of your life?
Early, like really early. Like, I mean, I can take you back to like third grade. I was putting on like my mom's boots and hats and like, you know, dancing around the house and stuff, you know, like I've always been into fashion, music, like all creative stuff, you know, drawing, all that stuff. I like love it. Like, you know, it's just something that's always been a part of me. I tell people all the time that my spirit animal is Andre 3000.
Hey, let's go.
You know?
Fuck yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, you have no days off, obviously. I feel like you could also have a brand that's no fucks given.
Oh, yeah. That's actually, I believe in that. Yeah.
It would be like perfectly on brand for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
And right before we started recording, you told me that you got food poisoning from one of your children. And I'm curious to know, because we spoke about this a little bit last time, how our society is really lacking strong masculine leadership in the form of present fathers.
Right.
So I'm curious to know, for you, the last 5 years since you stepped into that journey, what has been the biggest lesson that you've learned since being a dad?
It's the same thing. It's a lesson that keeps happening to me, is that it's not about me. Like, life is not about me. And I think a lot of people live in a way that they make it always about themselves. And so for me, it's like I'm living for my son, like I'm living for my family. I'm living almost through him. Like, it's so amazing to just watch your child. You know, the joy that they have. They're not stressed. They're not worried. They're not concerned. They're just living, and they're living their best life, right? And so you're watching these children live, and yes, they're your children, but like, they teach you so much about just how important every single moment is, and that we get caught up in the stresses and the things we have to do and all this, and they're just like dinosaurs, and you know, just joy. They're just joyful. It brings the joy back in your life, in my opinion. Like, you can have the absolute worst day of your life that you think, walk in those doors. I saw a picture of this where it had the dad with the briefcase, and he was walking into the house with his head down, and then he saw his kids, and he just like turned into this different person, you know? And that's how I feel. Like, when I come home, no matter how I'm stressed out I am, no matter what I went through during the day, when I see my kids, it immediately, it's like a light switch. It just goes off. And then that hug, that smile, that I love you, I love you, you know, that is just, it's the most powerful, joyful thing that I have in my life right now, you know? So other than God, obviously, but I see God in them, you know?
Yeah.
Just that honest joy, that pure joy, you know?
Yeah, and there's no rule book on how to be the perfect parent.
No, of course not.
So
No.
oftentimes people just model what they're familiar with, which is how their parents raised them.
To a certain extent, I think you can fall into that, but I think also I believe that it's our duty to always leave the next generation better than they left us. So not that my dad did anything wrong per se, but he did the best he could do with what he had. And then it's my job to do even a better job with what I have. So yes, you can just do it like your dad did it, or you can learn from your dad of, yeah, he did this, this, and this right, but maybe I can do this better than him because I learned from his mistakes or even just what he did, if that makes sense, you know?
How do you balance your daughter? Is your daughter 5 and your son is 2?
No, my son is 5 and my daughter is 9 months old.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, little baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know, like, raising a young boy in this world.
Yeah.
Right? What is your approach in terms of infusing that certain level of discipline
Yep.
and also that level of unconditional love? Because I think that's something that a lot of dads struggle with. Sometimes they're very good at the discipline part, but they aren't balancing it with like that level of love as well.
Yeah, I do. I will say for me, I think they go hand in hand. I think that, you know, oftentimes people look at like discipline, accountability, challenging, these kind of things as like a negative thing, like it's not loving someone. But if you're not holding someone accountable or putting discipline in their life, then you don't love them because you're putting them in a position that they're gonna fail in life. They need discipline, they need accountability, they need reminding, they need to learn how to become men. So you got to put them in those positions. So little things like for me, if he says yes, it's yes, sir. 7 is yes, sir. And they're, yes, sure, you know? So getting him in the habit. I mean, my dad, I still say yes, sir to my dad, you know, no ma'am to my mom. I still open the door for my wife and my mom and women in general. So we have to, it's the little things. It's the little things that will then turn into big things. So making him say yes, sir, making him put his trash away, making him clean his room, these kind of things, teaching them discipline, I think is love. I think they're one and the same. I don't really see it as big. Now, I would say this, there's a difference between like yelling at your kids to do stuff rather than just showing them. I think kids learn more from what we show them than what we tell them. So if you ever want somebody to do something that you feel like they're not doing, then you do it.
Lead by example.
Lead by example. You do it. Like I tell people all the time, like if you get frustrated with someone, let's say your spouse doesn't clean the dishes and you've asked them to clean the dishes over and over and over again, start cleaning the dishes. You start doing it and watch what happens. Eventually they're gonna either help you or they're gonna start doing it. It's just, it's how it works. It's like you can't, or they're just an asshole and then you probably shouldn't be with them, you know? But if you start doing something, most of the time your household's gonna follow, you know? But if you're not doing it, then don't expect other people to do it.
Is your son at the age where he's like sometimes joining you now for workouts?
Yeah, a little bit. He actually more than my wife. When he's with me, he's trying to wrestle me, but he does jiu-jitsu. He does jiu-jitsu 2 to 3 times a week. He jumps into the pit class every now and again with my wife and does like the burpees and stuff like that. But he's not really into fitness. He loves to run. He's a runner, definitely. I want to get him to the track eventually. He loves to run. He's enjoying jiu-jitsu. Like when I say, do you want to go to jiu-jitsu? He's like, yes, I want to go. So he wants to do it, which I love. I don't really want to be in a position where I'm forcing him to do things. I want him to want to do it. There'll be times where I'll have to kind of push him, I'm sure. But I definitely want him to want to do something. And then, but I tell you, his school is very good with practical things. So like teaching them how to clean up, how to sweep, how to water plants, like, you know, things like that. He's at a Montessori school. So they're very practical things. And so I really like to see what they're doing with him because the other day he spilt something on the floor and he went in his room and got the broom and dustpan and did it himself. And he's 5 years old. So that was actually really impressive, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long have you been with your wife?
Oh God, I hate it when people ask me this. over 10 years.
Why do you hate it?
Because like, time for me is like, women, like they know instantly,
Yeah.
we were married on this day. For me, I have so much going on that question. And then all of a sudden you got to like track back. But we were married 2017, I believe it was. We've been married for, no, not that long. Good Lord. She's going to kill me if she sees this. So don't put me on the spot. Edit.
But how long, when did you guys
About
meet?
10 years. Yeah, we met in around 2012.
I need the exact day and time.
Yeah, no, honey, you're killing me right now. You're killing me.
No, I'm just fucking
See,
with
am I
you.
turning red? Like,
So I'm curious to know for you, especially in a place like Miami,
yeah,
building something, like it can be challenging to also integrate a significant other in that process, right? Like I know for me, I'm in that journey too of like finding my life partner.
Okay.
Right. And with everything I got going on, it's like I know what my worth is. I know what I want to call in and attract. And also I want someone who has a vision that's aligned and wants to also like be a person of impact in the world, and also a mom, right? Eventually, whenever that time comes. What was that journey like for you? Like, how did that just make you a better version of yourself? And what was the process of really attracting that woman into your life?
I think for me, it was mistakes, like going through the wrong women and having the wrong relationships to then when you find the right one, it's like a wow, aha moment, right? Because I was dating a lot of women that like to argue, fight, were extremely like kind of more like me. And then I always say my wife is like the calm to my storm. So she's the complete opposite of me. And finding your opposite sometimes is like a beautiful thing because their strengths are your weaknesses are their strengths. So you actually become a better version of yourself because now all of a sudden you're seeing life in a different way and you're responding in a different way. Like I used to fight fire with fire. That was my thing. Like I'm going to, you want to challenge me? I'm coming for you. And so I would fight every fight as hard as I could. Now I realize you don't have to do that. Like, and she definitely helped me tremendously in that. I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means. I still got the dog in me, but
You're a fucking dog.
You know what I mean? But I now listen more. I try to respond rather than react, and she's definitely helped me and called out my bullshit, like, why are you yelling? Like, why are you talking like that? Like, and not reacting to my craziness sometimes. And so she even said it like the other day that, it's been probably 3 or 4 years before she's seen that old me of just being more of a reactive, cause I'm, when you have as much on you as I do, it's very easy to use that as an excuse. And then when you're as passionate as I am, some people use passion as an excuse for their behavior. I'm just passionate. You don't understand. I'm just passionate, and that's like, you can't do that all the time.
You have to manage your emotions.
You have to manage it. You have to recognize when you're too much, when even your passion is too much, like in certain situations, especially when it comes to problem solving and arguments and conflict. Conflict is seeing it from someone else's. It's like if we're in a conflict, I need to get around you, go on the other side and try to see it through your eyes of what I'm making, like how I'm making you feel. So then I can have a better perspective of how to deal with the conflict but if I'm only thinking about, no, this is the way I feel, if I only think that way, then we're never going to come with a resolution. Even if it means that, hey man, I understand where you're coming from, Jeremy, but I just disagree. And let's agree to disagree. Even if we come to that point,
It sounds like she brings you a lot of peace and stability.
Oh, for sure. She's not a jealous woman. She's not like a needy woman at all. Beautiful, like I say all the time that my wife is like a star in a movie. Like she's the kind of girl when she walks in a room, everybody's like, who the heck is that girl? Like, whoa. So she has that. She still to this day, she doesn't understand it, but like, it doesn't matter if she wakes up, gets out of the shower, taking a poop, like wherever she is, I see her as that, like she's the star in my movie, you know what I mean? And then to your point, she's the peace. She's the calm of the relationship. Like, she lets me be me. That's another thing too. Like, don't try to change your man good, but don't try to change your man. You know what I mean? Like, we have to be us. Like, it's something that if you try to take away what I'm trying to build, like, I'm trying to build something that impacts the world. Don't minimize that. You know, don't hold that over my head. Oh, you were working till 10 o'clock at night. You know, don't do that, you know? And she doesn't. And I know a lot of men that have to deal with that, you know, like, you know, where were you? You know, what were you doing? Well, I'm fucking working. Like, what do you mean when you know what I mean? Like, I'm providing. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. So that is beautiful in my eyes. It's absolutely beautiful. She actually reminded me of that. Like, I think it was like a couple of years ago. She was like, I think we got into a little argument and she was like telling me, like, I don't bother you for this. I don't bother you. And reminding me of what a lot of other women would be doing for what I'm trying to accomplish. Because what I do is it's a lot of work. So it's not that I'm like an absent, you know, husband or absent father, but I do put a lot into this. So I'm traveling, I'm doing this. My mind, like, she knows I'm always thinking about it, you know? I can't turn it off, you know?
Well, I think a lot of guys, including myself at times, have a belief that if they commit to a partner and they dedicate a lot of time and energy into a relationship, that it's going to steal away some of the energy that they give towards their mission and their purpose.
Right.
And it seems like with you, it's actually elevated you.
Because you have to find the right person. Like,
yeah.
And that's what I think. I think if you find someone that is like a distraction towards your visions and your goals instead of a supporter, then you're headed down a long journey. You know, that's not going to work.
And most of that shit is stemming from someone's own insecurities.
Well, as soon as you said STEM, I said insecurity.
Yeah, because it's like
you nailed it.
Because if she was in a relationship previously where she got cheated on or she had trust issues, now when you're out working late, she's going to make up all these stories in her mind. Oh, like Manning is just fucking someone from the gym or doing this and doing that. When in reality, it's like, no, I'm working my ass off so I can create the biggest impact possible, so I can provide and protect our family as much as possible.
Yeah. A lot of people bring their previous relationship into the new relationship. And I was guilty of that. When we very first started dating, like I told you, I would fight fire with fire. So if we had an argument, I would be like really intense. And then I was waiting for the intense response, and I didn't get it. And I was like, this is weird. Like, I'm not used to, I'm not going to throw the Latin women under the bus, but, if you're dating a lot of Latin women in Miami, they have a tendency to go at you, and so you got to go at them back. They're going to shoot me for that. But anyways,
no, I think most Latin women have the awareness. I think most Latin women have the awareness that they
and
are...
not all, of course, not all, but it so when you come from those relationships and then you bring that baggage into your new relationship and treat it the same way you just got out of it, it's not going to work. And so you either pivot, learn, and change and do it differently, or you're not gonna grow with that person that doesn't want to deal with that kind of relationship. So.
Did you have that conversation early on with her? Like, listen, I'm going to be working long hours. I'm really committed to what I'm building.
No, she knew. She knew because it's what I do. When someone wakes up literally at 4 a.m. every single morning and gets out the door and works all damn day, that was my life, when she met me. So she knew it was only going to get worse. You know what I mean? So, and again, I say this, I'm not trying to say I'm absent at all. Like, I'm definitely very much around. So it's not like I'm, one of these guys that disappears for a week. Like, I'm not that.
Well, I think this is also a misunderstanding that a lot of people have, right? People think, just because they think like, oh, wow, I spent 3 hours with my child or 3 hours with my partner, that's a lot of time, but were you actually present during that time?
Yeah,
because
being intentional during that time. Right?
It's all about the potency of your presence. Like, my dad would go to work before I would even wake up. He would get back at 6 or 7 p.m. We would usually eat dinner together. One day a week, he would drive me to school. But like, it was the time we spent together that I remember most. Like, he was fully present. I felt like he was just completely undistracted, the work stress did not come to our relationship.
Right.
And that's something I'll always appreciate and remember, because like, if you look at how much time we actually spent together, it was probably 4 to 5 hours a week.
Right.
You know, but
Yeah.
it's like the potency of that time. Are you actually being present?
It's so important. So important.
And that's what your kids are
And
going to
also
remember
being
most.
intentional. So I tell people all the time, like for example, I get to the gym at 5, work out, and again, this is obviously on days that he doesn't throw up in my mouth at 2 a.m, you know. So, but in my typical routine, I'm getting to the gym at 5, I'm working out, I'm doing sauna, cold plunge, then I go back to the house to take him to school. Because for me, that's like a moment, you know what I mean, that you want to have with your son. You want to take him to school. Then if I can, I also pick him up and we'll take him to jiu-jitsu. Not every day, but when I can. So it's like, I think oftentimes we think, or some guys or women or whatever, we think like we can't make an exception to certain days. Like, you know, I have a 3 o'clock appointment and it got canceled. Well, I need to figure out some other work thing to do. Well, what I do is if my 3 o'clock cancels, then I'm hitting up my wife saying, hey, I'll go pick up our son from school. You know, it's like recognizing windows that open for you to go hang out with your kid, you know, more. So I try to be intentional about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most inspiring things for any kid to witness is one of their parents like pursuing their passions and their purpose.
Yeah, definitely.
Which
Yeah.
doesn't get talked about enough either. It's like, I know a lot of moms feel guilty if they're not like showing up in every single moment in the perfect way for their child, right? There's a lot of mom guilt happening. But oftentimes, like, one of the most inspiring things for a kid to see is their parents doing what they love.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely. I mean, kids are learning from us by what we do, not what we say, but what we do. Like, that's why. So I got a beautiful text. Yes, was it yesterday? It was either yesterday or today. A beautiful text. A guy sent me a text. He's been coming to my gym since 2010. His son was 4 years old, and he brought his son to the gym almost every single time he came, since he was 4 years old. And now, obviously, he got. So what happened was he sent me a text and said, my son was awarded the fittest person in his senior year class, and that he truly dedicated that to the fact that he got to witness his dad put fitness first in his life, like put it as a priority. And so then he called me and like left me the beautiful message, just like beautiful message of how he remembers it, that it's been like a pillar in his life, that fitness and discipline were a pillar, and that I kind of like put that like stake in the ground for him for that. So those moments are like, it shows you what we do when they're just watching, you know? So
What keeps you fucking going? Like, I think it's been 14 or 15 years of you waking up at 3:50 in the morning.
Yeah,
Does that include weekends, by the way?
most, yeah. I mean, Oscar will tell you most, because I train my pastor and we call it church before church. And so I meet him at the gym at 5 a.m. because he has to do like 4 or 5, sometimes 6
Is
sermons.
it Rich?
Yeah, Rich Wilkerson.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
He's fucking
the man.
awesome.
He's the man.
Those
One of the best communicators I've ever been around, ever. Like, truly one of the greatest communicators of our time. Seriously.
I'm Jewish, and
Yeah.
I enjoy going to those
Yeah.
services.
You know, and you're not the only Jewish person that goes to VU sometimes. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
I had a podcast with a girl named Sarah, and she's like, I listen to worship music because of Rich, and I sometimes go to VU because of Rich.
Oh, Sarah Akiba?
Yeah.
She's
amazing.
friend.
She's amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Has God always been an important part of your
Oh,
life?
definitely. I mean, my parents were prayer warriors and grew up. We were one of those people that went to like every single denomination. So I've literally been to every single denominational church, even synagogues, like since I was growing up, like everything. And then we ended up probably more leaning towards Assembly of God, you know, like the freaking holy rollers, you know. But and then as I got older, just more Bible driven, like more just reading the Bible. More faith driven, like having a personal relationship with Jesus is very important to me. So
when I was thinking about, we hear the term a lot, the Matrix.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this and I'm like, what is the Matrix? And for me, the way I define the Matrix is that the Matrix's main priority is to keep you disconnected from God. How does the Matrix do that? Fluoride in the tap water, handing out antidepressants and Adderall like it's candy on Halloween, freaking OnlyFans, porn, shitty food, like fluorescent lighting, sticking kids in classrooms, learning about irrelevant things. Like all of these things are little steps that disconnect us from our true essence and that connection with the Creator.
Yeah.
So what is something that you do on a daily basis or that you maybe implement with your family that helps you just stay connected? Because it's very easy in a city like Miami to get distracted sometimes.
I mean, it's hugely distracting. The first thing I do always is I start my day with worship music. Like as soon as I get in my car at 4:30, 4:45 in the morning, I'm blasting worship music. Like, and then when I get to the gym, I probably annoy the members a little bit, but I play at least 2 worship songs, at least. Sometimes they'll let me keep going and I'll play more, but I kind of like, I'll vibe it out. Like I'll look at their faces, and if they're like rolling their eyes or something, then I'll change. Cause it is a public gym. So I'm not it's not church. So trying to be respectful, obviously, but definitely worship music is dear to my heart. I love music in general. I'm very, very sensitive to music for some reason. I don't know why, but like, it just like I hear things that I feel like other people don't hear. Like, I've just been always very sensitive to music, and worship music to me just speaks to my soul, And then the Bible talks about like worship is one of the top things that you're supposed to be doing. And then just a constant conversation with God. So like, I think people try to think that prayer is something that you have to like, I'm going to pray and you're like, dear God, and like have to have this like amazing prayer to God and with all this stuff. And for me, it's like, yo, what's up, God? Like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Sometimes like that's all I say is just thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Just throughout the day, just kind of like little affirmations of that. And then community. I think it's very important to check on your brothers. I think we stopped doing that for some reason. I think Instagram makes people, and again, I'm not hating on Instagram, but I think that when people see you online constantly through your feed or whatever, they think they're seeing you in real life, and they think that's your life. When like I post like 5% of my life, you know what I mean? So it's like, I really use Instagram for business. So it's like, when people are like, yeah, I saw you the other day, and you're like, no, you didn't. And they're like, no, you posted this. And it's like, no, bro, that's not, it's pictures, it's videos. It's like, so I think sending, like I do this, I'll send like worship music to like my boys or, somebody I haven't talked to in a long time. Or I'll just simply say like, I did this the other day to my staff, my managers. I said, is there anything I can pray for you about? Is there anything I can pray for you about? Like, one of my managers said no one's ever asked him that. Like, bro, that's such a little thing to do, but it's a huge thing, huge impact on them. So I think that's important you can't just act like, just read the Bible, go to church. Like you have to like do,
Yeah.
So
it's all about implementation.
Yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned music as well, because I think a lot of people underestimate the power of music and the way that it's literally programming our subconscious mind, especially when that music has lyrics in it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the music that people are listening to is fucking toxic.
A lot? Like, have you listened to this shit that's out there?
It's ridiculous,
it's terrible.
Bro. Especially like first thing in the morning or before you're going to bed. If you're filling your brain with that type of poison, how do you think it's going to impact your life?
We are the things that we consume. We are becoming what we see, what we listen to, what we interact with. That's the person we're becoming. So if you're waking up and it's like, fuck, bitch, pussy, asshole, like if that's what you're listening to, then that's what's That's what's speaking to you. That's who you're becoming, whether you want to admit it or not. That's just a fact. So that's why you're on edge. That's why I like in traffic, like I die out laughing watching people in traffic, how frustrated they are. You know, like, God, like you're not gonna change the traffic. Like, and I guarantee you, they're not listening to worship music. I guarantee you. You know what I mean?
That's actually a really good mirror for life. Like, how are you showing up in life is how you're showing up when there's bad traffic. Like, are you trusting and surrendering and maybe listening to a positive podcast or calling a loved one and catching up with them? Or are you getting really frustrated and trying to somehow like be Moses and part the highway and fucking split?
Right.
Like,
laying on the horn and like it ain't happening. I call my mom. Like a lot of times when I'm stuck in traffic, I either call my mom or dad, and like my mom laughs all the time. She's like, "You're in traffic again, aren't you?" You know, and I'm like, "Yeah, you know, how's it going?" Because it's literally the only time that I'm stuck in the car and I can catch up. You know,
well, it's good to make the most of it.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, one of the things that's interesting, I mean, I'm Jewish, so my perspective's different, but it's crazy. Like, I don't know if you've been following at all what's been happening in Syria.
Not really, no.
Dude, and that's the whole point. It's crazy. Like, there's literally tens of thousands of Christians in Syria.
I did hear that on Patrick Bet David, that it was like 70 Christians were beheaded in a church. Like it's and nobody's covering it. No one's mentioning it. It's
absolutely crazy. Yeah. It's insane that like there's literally a genocide happening in Syria with all the Christians there. You know, a lot of these Islamic jihadists, you know, if you're not one of them and you don't have their beliefs, they want you gone.
Wow.
And it's crazy that like this isn't being spoken about more in America, which is a Christian country, you know.
Well, is it? That's the thing though, you know, like it's like we've gotten so far. I mean, they took it out of our schools, you know, I mean, literally they've been stripping it away from everything. Like, it's almost like Christians are like I mean, forgive me for saying, it's like we're the Nazis of America. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird. But part of the problem, I mean, I believe is because churches are weak. You know, they're not standing up for themselves, and they're like being too kumbaya. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I get upset with Christians in general sometimes that there's nothing in the Bible that says we're supposed to be weak, you know, like humble, yes, but not weak, you know? So, you know, you can try me all you want to, and I'll show you what Christians are made of, you know? It's like, we're not weak people. So God never said to be weak. So you should be standing up for yourself, and it's just a travesty of what's going on in our world with all religions, really. You know, they attack on people's beliefs, and it shouldn't be happening, but it's part of life. There's evil everywhere, you know?
Yeah. Are you ready to feel limitless in 2025? I'm talking limitless physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, financially. This is your sign to try out microdosing for 30 days. We have a very special opportunity for podcast listeners. You can get started for only $222. This includes the medicine being shipped to you, the highest quality, fair trade, organic, sustainably sourced microdoses in the world at your doorstep. And you also get access to live group coaching calls with me, our private community. This is your sign to take ownership of your life in 2025. If you're ready, hit the link in the description, and I can't wait to see you on the inside. The Pledge of Allegiance, I believe.
That's what I was thinking too. Got taken out of school.
Like I remember just very vividly throughout. I don't know if we did it in high school. I think we did.
No, actually. We did it. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm older than you. We definitely did.
Yeah, no,
we stood up, saluted the flag, and
you put your hand on your heart.
To the United States under God, like, you know, and now like you can't say under God, like, oh, what does God mean? Like, oh,
is God a male or female?
Is God a male or female? Which pronoun is God? Like, so
that's so ridiculous.
You know, it's absurd. It's absurd.
But again, it goes back to the Matrix.
Yeah.
And the main job of the Matrix or the demonic agenda or Satan, whatever you want to call it, is to disconnect you from God, is to disconnect you from that feeling of oneness, that you're actually part of this. Mm-hmm. Like each one of us has a unique blueprint to our soul. And the fact that we've gotten so disconnected is really sad. And I feel like one of the main jobs that you and I are pursuing is to remind people that you're actually part of this beautiful creation, right? Like, you belong here. You have a very specific purpose. And I think it's just an important reminder, which again, we spoke on your show, like psychedelics are really helpful to give people that invitation of like, oh shit, maybe I can like get outside and, you know, connect with nature, put my bare feet in the sand.
Yep.
We shouldn't need something to remind us that, but sometimes we do.
Yeah.
You know?
It's good that it's available, right?
Well, 2 weeks ago, you said you're like, oh shit, I'm not actually going to the beach nearly enough. Have you been since?
No, I haven't, but I am definitely going to make a habit of it. And I'm going to Nashville, and we're going to do some hiking while we're there, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's important, man.
Yeah, definitely. You got to get with nature for sure. It's important. So, and that's the problem too, is just cities in general. It's like we're almost taking away like our origin, you know? Like we weren't made to just be around a bunch of concrete and buildings and honking horns and, you know, we weren't built like that. Like,
well, the average,
so,
I think I read a stat that the average American spends 93% of their life indoors, whether it's work, their home, their car. And that's crazy. And if you actually think about it, it sounds about right. Like most people are literally spending the hours of 9 to 5 indoors, blasted by fluorescent lighting, staring at a screen, working a job that they fucking hate. Mm-hmm. Think about that, bro.
No, it's sad. Who was, I had a really cool guy on that talked about lights. David Marin. Do you know David? I think it's Marin.
Probably.
I got to connect you with him.
Yeah,
Y'all would have a blast together.
Yeah.
He's just all about light, like the blue blockers and the, you know, like it's really fascinating stuff. So.
Well, it's important.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, was it the guy maybe that was talking about like, I don't know, but it's crazy. You know, we live in a society that has programmed us to fear the sun.
It's insane.
Like, people,
I think it wasn't me and you that talking about it. You know, like he taught me how if you just don't wear sunglasses, you can be in the sun all freaking day long and nothing happens.
Yeah.
So it's not quite as strong as that, but I've tested it out and he's 100% right. Like even my bald head doesn't get like fried like you would think it. But as soon as I put on sunglasses and you spend 30 minutes in the sun with sunglasses on, then I'm burnt, like crispy burnt.
Yeah.
Because it tells your brain to not put the melanin in your skin to protect you from the sun.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't think you're in the sun.
Well,
Isn't that wild?
It's crazy.
It's crazy,
well,
right?
it's interesting. And also, especially...
And sunscreen, sunglasses is wild.
Well, yeah, exactly. So our society has programmed us to fear the sun. And one of the worst things you can do first thing in the morning is put on sunglasses, because actually that morning light is one of the most beneficial things for
circadian rhythm. That's how
your
you start.
body's biology.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And then also, with sunscreen, it's like the benzene, the oxybenzone.
Well, skin cancer did not even exist before sunscreen. Didn't even exist. So, isn't that wild? That's kind of like conspiracy right there.
It's not even conspiracy. It's just the fucking facts.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what I'm saying. That's what they'll be screaming. So.
But think about that. Like, sunscreen, the same thing that's supposed to protect us from skin cancer, is actually one of the causes for skin cancer. Yeah. Something like antidepressants, which are supposed to prevent people from feeling sad, are actually one of the main drivers for suicidal ideation, sexual dysfunction, school shootings. If you look at a majority of school shootings, it's from kids that were taking antidepressants.
It's crazy. I saw this one guy break down antidepressants and like all they are is like, it's like a Band-Aid for your problem. And it only like kind of keeps it like keeps you level instead of like helping the problem. And really all like depressing feelings are coming from your gut. So it's a nutrient deficiency most of the time. And again, I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me on all this stuff. But, and there are truly depressed people out there. I'm not saying that. But the majority, it's just nutrient and it's just movement. Like that's another thing too. So they keep us out of the sun. They tell us that the sun is bad. And then also from early on, they treat exercise like it's a punishment and not that it's like the best medicine in the world, So,
It's so
that's
true.
another thing too.
By the way, I now have like this visual of you in like a doctor's outfit. That would be fucking hilarious, bro. You in like scrubs and shit. That'd be funny.
It would be.
You'd be an amazing doctor.
Yeah, I probably would.
You'd probably.
I've always wanted to be a lawyer. My lawyer always laughs because I've always seen myself as like
Really?
Matthew McConaughey in Time to what is it, A Kill a Mockingbird or whatever it was. Time to Kill. Which one? I don't know. Like, yeah, is it that one? Yeah. So,
Well,
I've always wanted to give that monologue, to the jury.
yeah, I mean, antidepressants, in my opinion, are one of the biggest scams in the world. The whole idea of them is to increase levels of serotonin production in the brain, but what they're doing is actually causing dysfunction to your gut microbiome, which is where you produce 90% of your serotonin.
Right.
So the same,
Yeah, you said it better than I was trying to say what you just said. That was
so
great.
yeah, like the same drugs that are supposed to increase our serotonin production are actually destroying the part of the body that's responsible for producing it.
Naturally.
Which is,
Yeah.
and it's crazy that it's still legal to just prescribe these things to fucking children, to pregnant mothers. Like, that's what frustrates me a lot is like, moms will ask me if they're breastfeeding or if they're pregnant, like, hey, is it safe to take mushrooms? And there's never going to be like a double-blind placebo study to reference for this. But it's like, let's use our intuition. This medicine has been used for thousands of years. It comes straight from nature. You're probably going to be okay. Of course, you want to do your research. But then we have things like antidepressants that are perfectly safe for women to take while they're breastfeeding. You don't think the chemicals in those drugs are impacting the breast milk.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a crazy system that we've been indoctrinated in. And that's why, again, like, we're entering a new era in America.
Yep.
I'm like so fucking grateful.
No, it's going to be amazing. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, no, there's a heightened sense of awareness of scams, of bullshit, of the pharmaceutical industry, the government, all this stuff. And we have people now, whether you like Trump or not, that's irrelevant. It's the people around him that are going to do amazing things. And RFK is certainly going to lead that. And then there's other people involved too. But I see a big change coming for just the country in a whole. And it's going to take some time. I think people are getting a little impatient, and it's been like 2 weeks. And it's like, guys, like, lighten up. It's going to come around. It takes time. You have to, in order to fix a problem, you kind of have to blow it up.
Yeah.
You can't just put a Band-Aid on a massive problem. Like, this
that's
is
what they try to do most of the time.
massive problem. So, and the only way to fix it is that you got to start from scratch, damn near, and clean house. And so that's what we're seeing, and it's pretty beautiful, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, it pretty much, it's like a systemic problem.
Yeah.
And from a societal perspective, when there's a problem, it's like, okay, let's try to find the quickest solution possible. Let's give everyone this $1,200 stipend, which they're just gonna spend on fucking ridiculous shit. They're gonna subscribe to OnlyFans. They're gonna buy alcohol. They're gonna book a fucking weekend trip to Miami where they just make very questionable decisions, right? So they print all this money. 40% of the money that's currently in circulation now was printed in that 1 year span during the pandemic, which is crazy, rather than actually evaluate where are we spending money? Why are we trillions of dollars in debt? Like, we need to take a step back and actually address the root cause, similar to depression. Oh, you're struggling with depression? What's your nutrition like? Are you getting outside? Are you connecting with nature? How are your relationships? Are you getting in the gym? Are you moving your body? Are you getting adequate sleep? Right?
Yeah,
like,
if the doctor's not asking you what you're eating, what your exercise is like, when's the last time you've done your blood work, if they're not asking these questions, then, and they're just saying, here, take this drug, then they obviously don't have your health and interest, is not an interest. So,
Are you taking blood work pretty religiously?
I would say definitely at least twice a year, but I try to do it every 3 to 4 months. I'm not perfect with that, but definitely twice a year for sure. Like,
I want
2
to
times
see
a year
what
for sure.
your testosterone levels are.
Oh, it's like, I can tell you, the last time I got it tested was 1375.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just a fucking vessel. You don't take any. You take like supplements. Like, what do you take?
Yeah, I take peptides. I'm on
BPs.
HRT. I take all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
BPC.
I'm on
157?
BPC 157, TB 500, AOD, tesamorelin, ipamorelin, MOTC,
I don't know what most of those are.
Yeah, they're all peptides. It's all stuff in your body. It's all like, legit.
You have a peptide hook?
Yeah, I got you.
got
He's great. He's great. Yeah.
Well, that's another thing that the pharmaceutical industry is basically trying to ban all these peptides.
Yeah, that's all obviously going to come full circle.
Except Ozempic, which is also a peptide.
It's a peptide, right? Exactly.
Which is crazy.
It's just abused. I mean, it's not used how it should be used, but that's a whole nother thing.
Well, no, I'm curious to know. We've never actually had a conversation about Ozempic on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a professional on Ozempic. I actually kind of just stay away from stuff like that. I have heard, actually, my peptide doctor said if done properly, it can be a good thing for someone that's like really, really obese and needs to lose weight. But most of these people are using it to be lazy. And anything that you use as a substitute for nutrition and exercise, it's a recipe for disaster. So everything needs to be, it's nutrition and exercise and sleep first. Like that's first. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating right? And are you exercising? If you're not doing those three things, I don't care what you're taking.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what you're taking. It's not going to work. And it's going to actually probably harm you than help you. So you have to start with the foundation of health first, with your nutrients, with your sleep and your exercise, and then work backwards from there. And that's something I love. That's why I like my peptide doctors, because he starts with that first. Let's get your blood work done. Let's see what's going on the inside, because blood doesn't lie. And then let's attack it with knowing what to attack. Like, he's not going to say, here, take more vitamin A if your vitamin A is through the roof. He's not going to say, take more vitamin D if your vitamin D is through the roof. Like, he's going to only address things that are lacking.
That's like customized healthcare.
Yes.
Which is really how it should be, because each one of us has a unique blueprint with unique needs. And of course, we all share some of the common desires. Like, we all need vitamin D. We all need sunlight. We all need a certain level of love in our life. We need healthy fats for our brain health. We need to move our bodies. But yeah, there's like a lot of specific things that each person individually requires to function at their highest level.
I think everybody's uniquely them.
Yeah.
And I think everybody needs to find what works for them. And you see too many people kind of given the blueprint that works for them for everybody.
Yeah.
And not that they're wrong, because I think they're coming from a good place. Like, hey, this worked for me. I want to tell the world, like, you got to turn vegan or whatever, whatever it is. But I think for me, it's like, hey, this is what I do, but it doesn't mean you have to do it. But this is what I do. And if you want to try some of this stuff, then do it. But for the most part, go find what works for you. Write down, journal your food intake. Switch up your workouts and find how you respond to different things. There's a lot of people that respond great with sprinting and running and things like that. And there's a lot of people that don't, so you have to find what works for you at the end of the day.
One of my pet peeves is when I see, there's like this move I do. I'm actually going to show you right now.
It's a dance move?
No,
Oh,
look at that hand-eye
nice.
coordination, dog.
That's the move right there.
That's the move. No, but like, so I have really, do you feel that shit? All the shocks, but like, I have really mobile hips and spine, so I'll go like this, right?
Wow, that's kind of impressive. That does look like a dance move.
That
could be your like.
It's one of my signatures. Like, how do you think I pull all the Latinas?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But no, people will see me do that, and they're like, "Yo, be careful." And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, your knees, they're going to get hurt. They're going to get shattered. And I'm like, listen, maybe for the average person, yes, because they haven't trained their mobility in their hips, spine, ankles, right? But it's so important to understand that. Even when people are like, don't let your knee cross your foot. It's like one of the most common things you hear in like exercise.
I'm never going to unsee that, by the way.
Yeah.
Every time I see you, I'm going to be like, do the thing.
That's good. That's good.
That's like, is that your go-to move, like at parties and stuff too?
Sometimes.
On the beach it is. On the beach it is.
I have a couple.
I could see you doing on the beach.
Like, I have a couple.
Like picking up your drink like that. Like,
it's nice, bro. I mean, listen, why not? Because like, if I see someone do that from like, let's say it's from a feminine perspective, I'm like, okay, this man can move his hips. He's got some flexibility. He's got a nice body. He's obviously a little goofy because he's just fucking around moving. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a good go-to move.
I like it.
You must really. Do you have any fat friends in your life? I'm curious to know.
Do I have fat friends? Yes, of course I have fat friends. They know it too, so I give them shit about it all the time. But yeah, I've been guilty in the past of saying some pretty harsh things to people that just being very, very blunt with people that are out of shape and trying to help them. And I've certainly have a more gentle approach now, more of an understanding approach. But I still don't think that. I believe that anyone that is truly committed to their health, for the most part, can make change in their life. So it's sure. Like, if you want it, then it can happen. And I think that sometimes people just keep making excuse after excuse after excuse, and that's frustrating for me. But I don't not hang out with fat people. Like I think I said that one time. I don't hang out with fat people, but that's not true. So
Well, you don't want to be called a fat shamer, Manning.
Exactly. Which is no, of course not in this world. But there's some truth to this whole movement of like putting these huge fat women and saying they're healthy. That's where I have a problem with it.
Of course, you can't.
It's like there's nothing wrong with a beautiful big woman at all. Nothing wrong with it. But you can't tell me she's healthy. That's the thing that's like frustrating.
And also when you put a super overweight woman on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, you're practically glorifying obesity. And what type of message is that sending to a 7 or 8 year old girl? Now, by no means am I saying like a model needs to be super tall and skinny like many of the models are, but it's like let's use some logic with the message that we're pushing out to the kids. Again, it goes back to the demonic agenda in the Matrix, because the best thing that society can do if they want to control you is for you to be unhealthy, for you to be disconnected from your body, to be disconnected from God, to be disconnected from a higher power.
Definitely. And I think if they, you could do it in a way also of really like showing people the different body types, like having multiple women with different body types. Because again, there's nothing wrong with different body types.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, glorifying obesity, because obesity is obesity. Like if you have, I think it's 30% fat, you're obese. Like that's just a fact. Like, so we're not fat shaming. It's just a fact of obesity. And so you can't glorify that. But I do think there should be an understanding, because I do think there's an extreme though, right? Like you said, it doesn't have to be a 5'10", 100-pound woman on the cover either. I think that we are in a place, at least, that we are celebrating different sizes and different looking people, and I think that's beautiful. But let's not celebrate or kind of glorify obesity. I don't think that's smart. Have you ever seen some of these shows like these like the 600-pound woman or the 600-pound? Like, have you ever seen some of this stuff on TV? Oh, it's so sick. It's like really sad.
It's interesting. My perspective when I see someone who's really overweight is that they just have a lot of excess energy. Like they have a lot of stored energy that needs to be used. And that can be in the sauna, that can be walking, it can be lifting weights. But a lot of times what happens too is emotional wounds and traumas from our childhood get stored in the body.
Yeah.
And if you just continue to allow those stored emotions to perpetuate without ever actually healing from them, oftentimes it manifests in inflammation in the physical body. And I think a lot of people underestimate that. Like when you actually do spiritual work and you do some work on healing your soul, a lot of times you're going to have more self-love and you're going to be like, oh shit, why am I neglecting my health right now? I need to get my ass in the gym. I need to go outside and be with nature. I need to start eating real, whole, healthy foods.
A lot of times too, people just, they go too hard too soon.
Yeah.
They think they're going to lose the weight in 2 weeks, and they starve themselves and they kill themselves in the gym, which is actually a recipe for disaster. So it's actually that slow drip, that consistent commitment. Even if you say to yourself, I'm going to walk 20 minutes every single day, and you do that and you do not miss a day of walking 20 minutes, then all of a sudden that 20 minutes turns into 25 minutes. Then that 25 minutes turns into 30 minutes. Then that 30 minutes turns into an hour. Now all of a sudden you're walking an hour every single day. And I personally have witnessed and had clients that have lost 80 to 100 pounds just from walking. Just from walking. And nutrition, obviously. So I think that what happens is they get in the gym and they try to kill themselves and they're so sore they can barely walk. And then, and then they starve themselves. And then, you can only, it's consistency over intensity in the beginning. You have to commit to consistency. It's just commit to the discipline of showing up for yourself, not trying to kill yourself. And then also forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself. A lot of people that are out of shape or fat, they're ashamed, and they beat themselves up, and they typically are emotional eaters. And so they're trying to hide their emotions by just eating. And, it's like, you just want to hug them and be like, it's okay. We love you. Like, that's another thing too. Like you said, like, do you have any fat friends? Like, I almost, when you see a bigger person or someone struggling with their weight, every time I see one, I want to go help them. Yeah. Like, literally, if I'm in the airport and I see somebody that's overweight, cause we know, like, me and you we have the answer, and it's like, you want to go share it. You want to be like, if you do this, I promise you this weight will come off. If you can just commit to this, I promise you, and every now and then, sometimes I'll engage with that, but for the most part, I try not to, cause you don't want to offend people. So,
well, sometimes you need to be willing to hurt someone's feelings in the short term to actually inspire them to take action that's going to benefit them in the long term.
Definitely, I think, I don't know about you, but like I only move when I'm told to move. Like, it's like,
move your body or move to like help someone?
Move to help someone.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's a sense, like, basically I feel like it's God saying, go talk to that person,
Yeah.
Go help them. But if I don't hear it or feel it or it's not communicated to me, then I just don't feel like I'm the person that's supposed to help them. That's really how I feel. Now, I might be wrong. I should be helping more people maybe, but I truly believe that it's more of a gut feeling of like, hey, that person needs help. You need to go talk to them, because it happens. Like, it happens. So it's like, for me, it's like, when it happens, it's so clear that, hey, you need to go talk to that person. And then when it doesn't happen, I'm like, okay, apparently it's not meant to be, so.
Yeah. And the important thing too, as coaches and guides and mentors, is to also understand how to communicate differently with different people.
Definitely.
And everyone responds differently to different energy, right?
For sure.
So like, you could talk to someone and you might be able to get through to them after 5 or 6 people just couldn't. And if I went to that same person, maybe they just don't resonate with the way I communicate with them for whatever reason, and they're not inspired to take action.
I think that's why there's different gyms, there's different trainers, there's different studios, there's different modalities, because everyone has to find their vibe, their energy, their thing that they can respond to. Like, a lot of people get offended by my tone, like, I hear it all the time. Like, why are you screaming at me? And I'm like, bro, I'm talking. Like, what's up? This is how I talk. Like, and it's crazy. Like, it's crazy to me. It's like, wait a minute, you're not listening to what I'm saying, because what I'm saying is powerful. You're too concerned with the tone that I say it in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But some people, I'm not for them. Now, then all of a sudden they have a trainer that's like, very soft-spoken, and today we're going to do lunges. And maybe that's their thing. I can't get into that, but maybe that's their thing.
Yeah, for sure. And people, honestly, and this was a challenge for me too, is a lot of people struggle to accept tough love and constructive feedback and criticism.
Yeah.
Because it can be hurtful. It can feel a little shitty in the moment. But at the end of the day, if someone has your best interest in mind, it's like, oh, wow. Like, I actually appreciate you, that you're actually honest enough to be real with me and tell me what I need to hear, what everyone else is too scared to tell me. Like, we all need people like that in our life.
Those are the people that actually are truly people that you should have in your life.
Yeah.
If you have only yes people around you all the time, and you don't have people challenging you, questioning you, confronting you, making you feel uncomfortable sometimes, then you're probably not like taken many risks in your life, you know?
Who are those people for you in your life?
My dad, my brother, my mom, my wife. My wife, number one, probably. My wife, definitely number one. My business partner, definitely we get into it a lot. You know, when I say a lot, like healthy a lot. Like conflict for me is healthy. Like my brother and I we used to have really bad conflict where we just fought fire with fire, but we're stepping into a very mature version of our relationship where we still have the conflict, but it's more meaningful in a way that we're trying to find a solution. Because I think conflict is good. I think that when you avoid conflict, then eventually it will blow up. And so if you gotta face conflict when you feel it, and when you have a disagreement, like if someone says something to you and you completely disagree and you don't say anything, then that's not even a relationship, you know? It's like, don't be sitting there nodding your head when you absolutely disagree with what they say. You got to say something. And sometimes, again, it goes back to what I said earlier, sometimes all you're going to do is disagree. And then you're going to say, hey, we're going to agree to disagree. And that's okay sometimes. Sometimes that's okay. But for the most part, most of the time, it's a misunderstanding. Most of the time, your perspective and the reason why you're in conflict is because you just didn't understand where the other person was coming from. And then if you go a little deeper and talk it out, all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's what you meant. You know, and that, I'll tell you, the biggest thing that happens the most is emails and texts. Emails and texts are read by the emotion of the person reading it, not the emotion of the person writing it. So you can literally send someone a good morning text. Good morning, Manning. And that's how you send it. Good morning, Manning. And I could literally read it. Good morning, Manning. You know, I could literally read it like that. Yeah. And they'd be like, what the fuck?
Why are you using exclamation points in all caps?
Exactly. Like I used to get that shit all the time. Like, why are you yelling at me in a text? Why are you yelling? It's a text. It can't yell. It doesn't make noise. Like, why would you think I'm yelling at you?
Yeah.
You used all caps. It's emphasizing. I tell people all the time, when I use all caps, I'm emphasizing something.
Yeah.
I'm making it more prevalent so that you remember it. It's not yelling. But it's the world we live in, because they're reading that text of, hey, when you go to the grocery store, I need you to pick up wine. And maybe I put wine in all caps. And they're like, why are you yelling at me? Like, stop. So, again, don't avoid confrontation, for sure.
Yeah, that's perfect that you ended using that word too, because there's this concept in Kabbalah called proactive confrontation. And literally, I guarantee that every single person listening and watching to this has at least one person in their life that they could think of right now where there's tension, where there's unspoken resentment potentially, right? And a lot of that just stems from us not speaking our truth and not expressing ourselves, not sharing how we're actually feeling. And if you hold on to that long enough, the resentment continues to build up. And all of a sudden, it's like these little things just kept piling up. And now you're not speaking to this person.
Right.
Now there's all of this unnecessary tension that's driving inflammation. It's causing you massive amounts of stress, unease, when in reality, if you just had the courage to have a difficult, challenging confrontation with someone in a space of love and compassion, it could actually just bring so much more peace to your life.
And a better relationship.
Exactly.
It's going to be a better relationship.
Because now you're going to actually see each other fully, rather than all of these suppressed feelings and emotions. Yeah. You're actually going to allow yourself to see the other person and be seen fully.
But that's the thing. You have to go into it with the ability to at least try to see the other person's perspective. I think if you're only going into it to try to win the argument, then it's not going to work out probably. That could actually make it worse. But if you're going into an argument but making it more of a, let's find a resolution, let's find how did this happen? How did we get here?
The root cause.
Yeah, what's the root cause here? Like, listen, obviously I've upset you. Talk to me. What's up? Like, what? Why? And then sometimes they explain it and you're like, oh, I did? Well, listen, I actually wasn't thinking that. Like, I know that's what you thought I was thinking, but I wasn't thinking that. This is what I was thinking when I said what I said. And then they're like, oh my God. So I assumed wrong. You know, assumptions and expectations, I think, are the two things that destroy relationships the most. We have this tendency to assume constantly what other people think. Like, stop. You're not mind readers. You don't know what I'm thinking. Like, don't assume. Just because I say something, don't assume that's why I said it. Especially if it makes you feel some type of way. If I make you feel bad or I make you feel some type of way, ask me why I said it. Hey, why did you tell me that? Why did you tell me to do this? You know, and then probably I'll tell you why, and then it'll make sense, especially in the business world. You know, in the business world, things move fast. There's a lot of things to do, especially when they're the leader and at top. And so sometimes you're not thinking about someone's feelings at the moment. You're just telling them what to do. And then but they are in their feelings when you tell them what to do. So they think that you're being mean or you're
Being
attacking
transactional.
them. Transactional, yeah. But sometimes you got to be transactional in business. I don't got time to massage your feelings when I need you to go take out the trash. Like, you know, sometimes it's, hey man, can you go take out the trash? And it doesn't mean that I'm degrading you or talking down to you. It's just the trash needs to go out. It stinks. It's overflowing or whatever, you know? And it's amazing to me how sensitive we've become in the work environment and texting and Instagram and all this stuff. Everybody's so damn sensitive. It's just, you know, I don't understand. And I'm a sensitive person, but it's gotten really bad lately. Really bad.
I think a lot of it, in my experience, because I've had challenges with this as I've like built my team and stuff.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, what I'm doing my best to do recently in the last few months is just over communicate early on in the relationship and be like, listen, there might be times that you text me and I don't respond for 4 hours, or I respond and it's a super short response and you might think that I'm upset for some reason. I promise I'm not. If I am, I'll let you know and tell you. And on the other side, if you're feeling some type of way and there's something that I say or do that like upsets you or triggers something, like just let me know. Don't stay silent. Like, let's have a conversation about it so things don't unnecessarily build up and create unnecessary tension. So for me, it's like over communicating and doing honestly the same thing if I'm dating someone as well. Like Definitely. I've been trying that as well, and just being like, yo, this is my vibe. This is what, you know, this is like kind of the path that I'm on. And if it feels aligned to you, amazing. If not, it's also amazing. We can be homies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that transparency is actually really appreciated when communicated the right way.
Definitely. Yep.
This is good, bro.
Of course.
I was going to ask you something, actually, I circled here, because I know you had, you had, I think, 2 or 3 vegans on your podcast.
3.
3
Yeah.
vegans. Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of indicative of what it takes, like, for a vegan to like conversate with a non-vegan. Is like they need 3 of them.
They're all my boys.
I know.
Yeah.
They're good guys.
The messages though, like, I mean, I can't even, the nasty DMs and messages, it's just crazy.
What were some of them?
They did not understand the podcast at all. Like, that was the whole point of the podcast. It's like, let's not do this to each other. Like, let's stop. You know, there's no reason.
Were most of the messages from
vegans? No. Most of the messages were vegans to me, like hating the fact that I eat meat, and then also trying to make, like, we were making a joke that three vegans and a carnivore, and then they were like, you know, like attacking me for not really being a true carnivore. Like, again, first of all, I'm Manning Sumner. I'm a human being. Okay, I'm not a carnivore. Like, you know, like, it's not a label. You know, it's like, let's stop with the labeling of people, you know? It's just ridiculous. But I love those guys. And that's the thing for me, is that, like, especially Badass Vegan, especially John, he's just a great soul, you know? He's a beautiful human. And we disagree completely. Like, absolutely, completely disagree about nutrition. Completely. Like, off the spectrum. Like, he's over here, I'm over here. But we're good friends. He's a family man. He's a father. He married one of my old closest friends. Like, and I love him as a brother. I love him. Think he's amazing. His smile will light up a room. But we don't agree on nutrition. Who cares? Doesn't mean we're gonna hate each other because he's not, you know, because I eat a steak. Like, it's just wild to me that people lose relationships over this stuff.
Well, they get so attached to their identity
of being vegan and or carnivore. Like I've seen it, or keto or whatever it is. Like guys, that's not the essence of who you are. It's just something that you choose to do.
Yeah.
It's a choice. It's not who you are. Like who you are has nothing to do with what you eat. Now, might be what you look like, maybe, that might be a direct correlation, but not how you think, your soul, I don't think, I think you can be both, in my opinion. Cause I've seen it, like Lance, I mean, the dude's a beast, like a beast.
He's jacked.
So you would never think he was vegan. And Tori too, like they're physical specimens, and so am I. And I eat meat and they don't, so it's interesting. It's interesting. For me, it's fascinating, really, because it goes back to what I said. I think we all have to find our way. We all have different genetic makeups. We all move different. We all come from different places. We all have different moms and dads. We all have different ancestry, genes, you know what I mean? So you never know where they were born and what their parents ate and all that stuff. It definitely, I have a feeling it all ties, together in some form or fashion.
So I'm not trying to get you to bash anyone or any company or anything, but you were talking before about Barry's Boot Camp, which I guess now goes by just Barry's.
Yes.
I've gone to their class probably twice. I understand why people like it, man. Like it's good energy. It's like electronic music. It's, young energy. It's cool, whatever. But it's very fucking irresponsible. They stick you in this dark ass room, and then there's a lot of people that have never done sprints before. They don't even have a proper gait pattern for walking the right way. And then you're throwing them on a treadmill in the dark, telling them to run as fast as they can. It seems very fucking irresponsible. Am I wrong?
Listen, you're not wrong, but I would say almost every gym in America is irresponsible, and to a certain degree, and that's why they sign waivers. You know what I mean? It's like to a certain degree, nobody is perfect in the gym industry. I have shown clients how to do something the right way a million times, and they still do it the wrong way. So you could teach someone how to run the right way 1,000 times, and they'll still go to Barry's and run on that treadmill like a maniac and love it, and love it. And I think most people are going there for the energy, the vibe, the trainer, the coach, the way they feel afterwards, the endorphins, the music, the darkness. Listen, I have said this out loud many, many times. I will never understand a dark ass gym with no lights and training in the dark. I'll never understand it. I think it's ridiculous personally, but people love it. People love it. I don't understand it, but people love it. And to each its own, I think that's why we have different places to go to. And I think that's why there's literally a gym on every damn corner in Miami, because everyone wants something different. Yeah. And you cannot, what I've learned, I have 7 locations in South Florida, about to open 2 more, going to Nashville, and over 2,000 members, over 187,000 unique visits a month, like all these people coming in and out of the gyms. And some people love us, like absolutely we are the God's gift to gyms. And some people hate us and talk shit about us. And you get both ends. You get the people that absolutely love what we're doing and the people that hate what we're doing. And you got to take it with a grain of salt, because it is what it is. People's opinions. It's people's opinions. Yeah. People's opinions do not bother me whatsoever.
Well, they're just a reflection of wherever they're at.
Exactly. That's a beautiful thing you just said.
Yeah.
It's not about you. If they're hating on a workout, a gym equipment, the color of your gym, your staff, your pit bull, if they're hating on that, there's something inside of them that happened that they're reflecting something about them. It has nothing to do with you. If someone's bitching about an exercise in a gym, why did y'all do this exercise? Is that really about the exercise? Is it, we got a review the other day and someone was bitching about 9 reps. Why would you do 9 reps? That doesn't make any sense.
Really?
Really? Like that's what you choose. That's what you chose to go on Yelp and write a serious negative review because you didn't like the rep scheme. Like you need to go to therapy. Like, it's like you might want to check in yourself, you know? So I think Barry's is genius. I will say that.
Yeah.
Like, it's genius. I mean, when Barry's, the actual guy's name is Barry, and when he came up with that concept, in West Hollywood with all the gay guys, it was genius, man. Like you get a bunch of gay guys with their shirts off, sprinting on treadmills and, working out together, it's going to explode. Like, because gay guys love to work out. They have money. Like, it was a genius thing that he did. And, now where they are today, I mean, they'll probably sell any day now for 200, 400, 500 million dollars probably, So they did something right,
Yeah. No doubt about that. I want to actually transition, and talk about this creation, bro. No Days Off, premium water. And it's crazy because obviously I educate people a lot on water.
Yeah.
So many people are still drinking tap water, which is laced with fluoride, arsenic, these heavy metals that cross the blood-brain barrier and cause inflammation on a neurological level. And then people are drinking from plastic bottles and they're consuming all of the chemicals from the plastic. That's disrupting their endocrine system, disrupting their hormones. And it's so important to source your water from high quality places. 70% of our body is water.
Yeah, and our brain.
Yeah. And it's like so many people are unaware that if you keep hydrating with dead water, and that's what tap water is. It's fucking dead water. Like
it's worse than that. It's worse than that.
Yeah.
Like, it's toxic, literally.
Yeah. Like fluoride and arsenic will kill your brain. And then we have all the chemicals from the plastic, right? So what inspired you, bro? Like what inspired this creation of No Days Off?
So I used to tell all my clients back in the day when I was training, from 5 a.m. until 10 at night, nonstop, 16, 18 clients a day. Are you walking and are you drinking water? Water and walking. It was always the thing I would ask them. And every single time they were like, no, I barely walk and I don't drink enough water. And it was just a common thread, whether it was one of my professional athletes or a lawyer or a nurse or a student, everyone was dehydrated and not getting their steps in, And I think that we've seen the 10,000 steps now like become a thing, people checking their watch and making sure they're getting their 10,000 steps. And, now we're seeing the HRV score and all that. And so I truly believe we're stepping into hydration. I think that there's a heightened sense of awareness of now people are very concerned about what's going into their bodies. And there's so much stuff coming out of PFAS and microplastics and toxins that are happening in our water, as you just pointed out, arsenic, contaminants, mercury. I mean, there's just so many stuff that ultimately, when I had always wanted to do my own water, but I did the plastic water with the private labeling for my gyms one time, and it just wasn't sexy in my opinion. It was just like, it was okay. And then the water wasn't my water. It was just a purified water source. So couldn't really put my name on it, And so, I put my name on, but I couldn't really push it, make it a brand, make it a CPG movement. And then Liquid Death came out. And when Liquid Death came out, it was like right around 2017, 2018. One of our members tried to get me to invest in it. And then I talked to my business partner. I was like, hey, this is their deck. And what do you think of this? And then I started buying it, and I'm a water drinker. I don't really drink beer. I'm not really a big drinker. I'll have a whiskey every now and then, but I'm mostly I drink water. I don't drink juices. I don't drink milk. I drink water. That's my thing. And so I was drinking like a lot of water out of a can and felt cool, like popping that top and then when we kind of looked at where they were at, we're like, nah, I don't really want to invest in something that has to do with death. And this, the whole messaging was a little off for me. But I thought it was genius. So I was like looking at the can one day and I was like, we could do this. Like we could really like do the same thing, but do it in a premium way. So I feel like they did it in like a Doritos way, you know, like going after the Poland Springs, the Zephyr Hills, the Aquafinas, the Dasanis of the world. And I was like, what if we kind of kicked Fiji in the ass? What if we kind of like took on Aquapana and Evian and Saratoga and Pellegrino and Perrier? Like, what if we, like, think about that. When's the last time you saw anybody go after or compete or disrupt premium water? It's always, you go to a restaurant, it's Aquapana, Saratoga, it's Evian, right? It's like, that's just, or everybody thinks Fiji is like the greatest water ever. And it's not. It's not. Yeah. First of all, it's in plastic. And second of all, they're being recalled by the minute. Like, so I was like, let's disrupt the premium water space. Let's be a category disruptor in this space, and let's go after them. And so we became the official premium water of the Miami Heat and the Kaseya Center, replacing Fiji and Perrier, and really like kind of that kind of gave us the street cred. You know, whenever you see the Miami Heat and our logo together, it's kind of saying, okay, they're the real deal. So that really helped us. And then we signed with the largest beer distributor in the country, Reyes Holdings, to help distribute our product. And then the time that it took us to make this water, it took about 1.5 years to really make sure that what we were putting in this can is special and that it truly is what we say it is. You know, that for me, coming from the wellness industry, it's very, very important for me to be able to stand by a product. I feel like so many fitness guys, coaches, players, they just get behind any product because it's a money-making thing, and they don't care what's in it. They don't, you know, they're just pushing it. And meanwhile, you know, they're not helping anyone. And so for me, like, let's make a water that actually is hydrating you, tastes delicious, and has no contaminants in it. We pride ourselves of being the purest water in the world. Like, that's what we're trying to accomplish. And we're coming out with our glass bottles so that guys like you can drink it more, because I know, you know, a lot of people are like, it has to be glass. And we understand that because that's a premium stance. I will say our cans are actually, we pay more for our cans to be BPA free so that we're not dealing with that plastic liner. So our cans are about as healthy as you can get. And we test it, and we constantly test. So we're doing like 400-page test on our water to ensure that what we say is in this can is what's in this can. And then we're also testing our competitors, and we're testing tap water to eventually show the world of what they're drinking and, you know, to kind of go after the big dogs. But
dude, it's fucking sick. It's super inspiring to see how far it's come in such a short time. But I also think most people don't see like the intention that was put in before you even started the product.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
no, it took a long time to source it, to find the right people to get involved, to raise the money, to you know, put together the different decks, to put together a game plan, to put together, you know, the relationships. I mean, it's CPG business is a gangster world. It's like playing chess every day. So you gotta be very intentional in every single move you make, or you'll run out of money, or you'll have a logistics problem, or you'll have a contamination problem, or whatever. Like, there's so many problems that can happen if you're not on your stuff every single day. And so proud of my team, because I have way smarter people on my team than me, which is exactly what you need when you're trying to accomplish something like this. So I've surrounded myself with brilliant people that know this world, that know how to execute, and that's why we're successful.
What is the next big thing you're excited about for No Days Off? Like, have you considered getting, you know, athlete endorsements, like that type of stuff? Has that happened already?
Yeah, we already have a few of that. We actually have a country music artist, shout out Julia Cole. You know, we signed her. The Miami Heat, though, is our celebrity. You know, like
that's massive.
That was a huge deal that happened through great relationships and really proving ourselves, because they took a chance on us, and now we have a beautiful, beautiful relationship with them. They've been fantastic partners throughout this whole thing. And so for us, it's like that was our Paris Hilton moment. You know, that's our celebrity is the Miami Heat, and we love them. You know, we're probably not going to sign like a big celebrity because we don't want this to be attached to a person. We want this to be attached to a movement. And so that's why we love the Miami Heat, because they embody our culture and what we want. And so our culture is aligned. No Days Off is never taking a day off on you. It's a commitment to becoming your best self. Heat Culture is very similar to that. They
Yeah.
take no days off. You know, they're about that life.
Have you ever connected with Pat Riley?
Not yet. So I would love to, though. Pat's the man.
You guys
Pat's
have
the
very
man.
similar mindsets.
Yeah, and I've followed his career and heard his speeches, and I love how he runs the team, and you know he's the real deal. So it'd be great to hopefully cross paths one day.
And is the goal with this down the road to exit to like a bigger company?
I think that the ultimate goal is to have an event, not necessarily an exit. So what an event could be, it could be an exit, it could be a big sell. It also could be a major partnership deal. So to give you an example, like a Pepsi Celsius thing, you know, Pepsi invested in Celsius for like 20% of the company and then put it in their network, and then they freaking like flew.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So a lot of times you can partner or do a collaboration that takes you like to the moon. Or, you know, exit is definitely not out of the ballpark. It's just, I believe that if we're going to build $1 billion company, the vision and the creative needs to stay with us because it originated from us. We know exactly what we want to accomplish. And I don't want somebody else to mess that up. And I think you can't take the visionary out of something like this because it took me 16 years to get to where I am today. And you want to always be reminded of where you came from and everything that you did in over a decade, almost 2 decades, to arrive to finally having a product that is carrying the movement that you started 16 years ago, you know?
Yeah. It's really impressive, man. Just I'm really grateful that we've had the opportunity to do this a couple of times.
No, definitely.
Yeah,
you're easy to talk to, so it's cool. You great questions, great vibe, you know. So it's an honor. Thank you for like, you know, immediately saying like, bro, let's get on the podcast again. Like, you know, I love it when people take action.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
they don't wait or sit on something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like, I mean, we probably could have left that night and gone and shot another 2 hours. So I know you're the type of guy we could talk for forever, and that's when you know you're in a good alignment. You know, so
I'm speaking at your event next week too.
I know.
That's fucking like
Yeah, we got it. No Days Off Con, March 22nd and the 23rd. Jeremy's one of the main speakers. We're also doing a live podcast and tons of stuff happening. We've got yoga, we've got breath work, we've got I think sound meditation. We've got a badass run clubs meeting up, like tons of run clubs coming and meeting. I think it starts 12:30 on Saturday, and then Sunday is a little bit earlier, and it's just gonna be fun. It's at my new headquarters in Little River, and it's really cool because, you know, when you first do something like this, people are like, you know, what is this? What's happening? What are y'all doing? So the first time is gonna be interesting. It's a learning process. You know,
Yeah.
you do it once, and then the next time you do it even better. And I've actually kind of witnessed that with VuCon. You know, my church, have done a conference every year, and literally they have crushed it. You know, every year it gets better and better and better, and hopefully that's something that we can improve on, because that's what we're all about, is becoming a better version of ourselves. So we got to do better cons, you know, as we grow.
That's what it's about. Just like you said, executing, taking action, trying shit out, and then learning the lessons. Hey, what worked? What didn't work? How can I improve it for next time? And just keep elevating. Like, it's very simple. In fact, I hope you were clipping that so we can actually use that. That's amazing. You're on top of shit. That's why
Of course, he's the man.
He's fucking
Shout out
legend.
Oscar.
Because I was going to say, this episode is going to go live after that weekend.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we didn't touch on today that you want to make sure we do?
Nothing much. I mean, just, you know, check out Legacy, the gyms, and drink No Days Off water. And I just, it took me 10 years to get the trademark for No Days Off for apparel, and I just got it like last week. So get ready. I'm going to start making some major moves in the apparel industry too. And, you know, I tell people all the time, I'm just getting started, like literally just getting started. So
Fucking love it, bro. Yeah, we're gonna yeah, that's fucking dope. It's fucking dope. Like that mindset. Also, by the way, Dustin, he does a lot of trademark law stuff. So
Cool.
Yeah, he's like my guy that I go to. All right, real quick, rapid fire.
Yep.
Trying this shit out. What is one?
Daggone.
I know.
Shot
I
the
got
crap
shocked.
out of me.
That's just your electricity, though.
Is it?
That's the frequency, bro. You can't fake a
All right.
frequency.
I like it.
What is one book that changed your life.
48 Laws of Power.
If you could have dinner with one person who's no longer here, who would it be?
Jesus.
Dinner with one person who is here.
Who is here? That's a tough one. Who is here? Chris Stapleton,
Who's that?
country singer.
Okay. I should know that.
He's good too, like the best in the world.
If you could have one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Burger.
What's on the burger? Just
Bacon, double bacon cheeseburger, like loaded, like freaking, huge double bacon, maybe triple dip.
Where's your favorite burger spot in Miami?
If I go to the restaurant, it's Pinch Kitchen.
Pinch.
Money, bro. Money. It's right here, 79th and Biscayne. Pinch Kitchen. Oh, and their freaking guava French toast. What? Forget about it. I've taken an Oscar. It's good. So their burger is fabulous in person. If you order it, it kind of shows up a little too soggy. So it's a tough. It's still good, but it's not as good in person. Money. If you're ordering, I have so many friends that own places, so I'm trying not to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but if you're ordering, if you're going for just that raw, like just throw down a burger, Skinny Louie's is pretty money. Yeah.
Skinny Louie's?
Yeah, Skinny Louie's.
Haven't I heard
You gotta
that?
get the triple. They'll put 3 freaking patties on it. If you had it, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And get the shake and you dip the fries. It's like a healthy Wendy's, I don't even know if it's healthy. I'm just saying that.
I go to the fucking Burgers and Shakes like once every month.
Yeah.
The barbecue, you know where that spot's
Oh,
at?
yeah.
On 79th, bro, the barbecue bacon cheeseburger
Ooh.
with the sweet potato fries.
Nice.
Oh my God, that shit hits.
Yeah.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
My dad just everything that he instilled in me, the best advice he gave me is just work your ass off, like be a hard worker. Don't be a complainer, find solutions and work. Just work. That's it. Like just work your ass off. Everything else will work out, Yeah.
You're making your dad proud, bro.
Yeah.
No, every day, and I know you're continuing to be the leader of your lineage and embodying those lessons for your 2 kids and just showing up in that way every day. Really grateful for you today, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
It's always fun. It's always fun getting after it.
Yeah,
this is just the
definitely.
beginning, and I can't wait for fucking next weekend. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be incredible. Really quick, let people know where they can connect with you.
Yeah, at Manning Sumner, Instagram. Drinkindio.com is where you can get the water. Also available on Amazon. Legacyfit.com to find my locations. Shop No Days Off Apparel. And so hopefully slide into my DMs.
Slide into those DMs. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching until the end. You already know what to do. Fucking be great. No days off. No excuses. Follow Manning Sumner. Much love, y'all. Peace. Let's fucking go. You did it. You made it to the end of the show. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, your support in listening to this podcast. And really, my mission here is to deliver the best conversations, the best people, so you can continue elevating and becoming the best version of yourself. And all that I ask in return is that you actually take action on the things that we talk about in these conversations, whether it's certain habits to implement or certain thought patterns or belief systems that you want to reprogram and remove from your life. I just want to remind you that your life is your gift and you are the creator. You are the main character of your movie. So please take action on these things we discuss. And tag me on social media. Tag me on Instagram in your stories at Jeremy Awakens. Let me know what stood out the most to you. Let me know what were some powerful moments for you from this conversation. And finally, if you haven't already done so, it would mean the world if you left a review for the podcast. Word of mouth is our oxygen. This is what allows us to reach more people and impact more lives. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you next time.